Hi, I'm Mr. Miyagi, and this is Mr. Miyagi's Workshop. That's right, we're back on that CB 360, that 1975. So this week is a lot of little detail stuff. We've got the electrical box here we still have to make doors for, and a little locking mechanism. Also, I want to figure out where I can put a fuse box on the other side. We also have to figure a spot to mount the regulator, which way the wiring is going to run through the frame and stuff, like coming from the headlight down. Just odds and ends of little things. We'll work on maybe these forward controls here so that we can have braking and shifting, which would be really helpful. But like I said, just lots of little odds and ends, so stay tuned. This could be fun. Well, I'm working on the doors for this. I've got one over here, pretty well made up. So that'll open up basically like such. I'll have to do a hinge of some sort. I got that cleaned up. So basically all I did is I ended up cutting a strip of thin gauge steel after I cut out these end pieces for this. So I kind of want this to lock and hinge out of the way. I'm going to weld this up around here and get it cleaned up, and then I'll do the same to this one. I'll tack this on the edge. What I had here is I had some rolled stock. This was kind of an edge stock that I had on another project, and I thought, well, heck, I'll just cut that off because it kind of gives it a nice look, a nice finish on there. So anyway, I'm going to weld all this up and then smooth it all out and get it all kind of ready to go, and then I'll do the other one and get that going. So I'll get back to you after this is all done. Well, yesterday I got the doors made for the end of the fake oil tank, but it's actually electrical box and storage area. So I've lipped it all the way around. Makes a nice little cover. And then I thought, well, I need to hinge them some way or another. So I got these hinges on here, and I was like, I couldn't find anything that I really liked. So let me get it down here. I don't know if you can see that or not. What I did is I used some chain link. And you go, what? I go, yeah. I cut one of these links in half. What I did is I took those two links and welded them on there, on here and there. And like I was going to say, is I cut one of these in half and then used them here and here, spread them apart. And then I used a couple of these ground down, the outer links, to be welded on out here on the lid. And I'm surprised it works out fairly well. So we can get into the compartment. And while I'm got this here, I know somebody's going to ask, why is this notch in there? Well, this is where the chain runs, and I wanted a little bit more room for when that chain is slapping in there. This is what I came up with. I've got a locking door on this side that opens up, and plenty of storage down inside. I mounted the regulator on the back side where this goes. Inside this compartment, I've added the fuse box. The main power comes into there, and then this lights up all these, and then these can be fused to go wherever, to lights and ignition, horn, whatever. It can do. I got starter solenoid is up there. I still haven't figured out quite what I want to do with this. I don't want to put another lock on this side. and you can't get into the storage area through this side. So I may end up just putting it in a small screw or a fancy little twist lock right in here yet. I've added wire holes to go inside. This one right up here is for the lights coming from the rear of the bike. So this would be the running light and the brake light. I think it's looking good. So I'm going to go put this back on the bike and see how everything fits. Get into there. Nice and easy. The plug-in for power and everything else will go back here. Still have to figure out the braking system here. I'm thinking this long rod that I've got right here, it'll start up at the front and then back in the back, and then maybe I'll have a levering mechanism to make everything work proper. Well, I didn't get a lot of filming done on this project this week because I had a lot to think about on how to lay stuff out. I did get brake system set up, the box is in place with the lock. I had a suggestion from one of the guys on the internet about putting holes in the fender. I talked it over with the owner, and he thought, yeah, it was kind of a cool idea, but then again, we have a wet state. Putting holes in the side, the fender would be basically useless. So we're not going to put any holes in it. We're just going to do that in black. A couple other things, I've mounted the regulator back here on the fake oil box. I'm going to have to put an L in here to bring that line out so that we can put air into the seat. I'm going to do a walk around now. I'll show you what I got accomplished. So down in here you can see the mechanism that I set up. That activates the rear brake. I put in a support bar here that goes to the frame down in here. This spring, I'm going to end up doing something a little bit different. I also still have to make a bracket for the brake light switch for down here. I made these slip-ons. This piece actually slips over the bar, and then these slip onto that, and then they're locked back here with a keeper. So that activates the brake. On this side, where the shifter, I took the shifter lever itself, cut it off, and then welded on a piece of flat metal. And then on this forward control, now you can shift, but I welded on a flat piece of metal down here so we can attach this rod. It's adjustable, so you can adjust it in or out. Another thing I did is I added this piece here, which is adjustable. It slides up and down. This is kind of a chain tensioner. It doesn't really adjust the chain all that much for tension, but what it does do is it keeps it from slapping. So this one was fairly simple. I just went out here, used the fat skateboard wheel. Now these have the number 9 bearings in it. Those, you know, the high-speed bearings. Those work fine. And then right up here, I made this chain guard fit a little better. It goes in and attaches down here at the bottom. And then right where that side saddlebag attaches onto is the other point. So this all bolts together and it keeps the chain guard in place. On this side over here with the door, I haven't quite figured out what I want to do. I thought about putting in one of these snap levers that could go up here on the side and snap in place. Another thing is what I did is I put in a fuse box. This fuse box is a Blue Sea fuse box. It's a marine. It has a spot to put the main power to, and then all of these fuses right here. You can put in different sizes of fuses, and then the cover just clicks kind of insulate it from everything. The starter solenoid's up in here. I've got a hole up here on the top because on the other side here, there's a hole in the frame there, which the wire from the tail light will go in here and then come out and go down into the box here. But there was just a lot of little things I took care of. I mounted the speedo up here. We've got the clutch lever and everything set up. And for the brake line, I got this black unit here. I've got a shorter one coming right now. This was a little too long. It was about 3 inches too long, and I'm going to take care of that. I've got the speedo cable kind of set in the area. This unit down here had one of these broken off, and it was a heck of a thing to get that out of there. I'm going to route this cable some way, probably down around this way and then into it. I still have to lay out the wiring up inside here. I have these buttons to put on. One's a starter button, and then over here will be a horn button. They get mounted in here. Yeah, right down in here, I've got drill a hole and put this neutral light in there. I have to modify this a little bit, get it to fit proper. We got a mirror put on that side there. So next week, what we're probably going to do is we're going to probably finish up a lot of the welding that needs to be done and that I've put into place. I will go over with the exhaust out of the way. I will go over what I've done in the brake area, a little more detail on that. Make a bracket for the brake light switch and a few other odds and ends. So this is getting pretty close to go to powder coat. So if there's any comments or questions, you can put them in the comment section below, or you can send them to my email address at tmiyagi@hotmail.com. Now, if you've liked this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget that ringy-dingy button over there for the next episode coming up. So this is Mr. Miyagi saying, be safe out there. Hope to see you on the road. Ciao.